I want to welcome Minister Phelan to the House, a colleague of mine. And first of all, I just concur with my colleague Senator Landy that, Minister, you have a lot to do and you have very little time to do it. Towns, and I also do agree with colleagues that suggest that €1 million funding for your project isn't enough and you should look for more. Towns in Roscommon were very badly hit as a result of the recession, like towns like Castlereagh and Boyle, Strokestown, and in particular my own town of Ballahadreen was badly hit. We had a beautiful hotel that was closed down, leisure facilities with it that were closed down. We have a closed down meat factory, many pubs closed, many shops closed, and there was too many houses built during the so-called good times, and as a result of that we have too many ghost housing estates. In actual fact, in one housing estate last week there was 20 houses knocked, demolished, got through funding we got from Jan O'Sullivan at the time. I believe that there needs to be a new way of thinking, and in particular in relation to rates. Rates is a huge, huge issue. And I believe that rates should be calculated on the basis of turnover and profit, and not on the square footage of the building. Now, I met with a delegation of publicans from Galway and Roscommon there some months ago, and they told me that this is being piloted on a snail's pace basis at the minute. And it's working out that some of the rural pubs are paying a lot less and some of the urban pubs are paying a lot more. Because as you can appreciate, Minister, if you go down Shop Street in Galway, the punters are, you know, they're out on the streets of many of the pubs down there. They could be the same size as a pub out in Trevor O'Claherty's area, the same square footage, and they might have two punters at the bar at night, and they're paying the same level of rates as the pubs in Shop Street. So it's an area that should be looked at, and you know, it needs to be done as a matter of urgency, because rates to me is the difference between businesses staying open and closing, and it's happening every day of the week. And as regards rates, there's no leeway with the local authorities. The local authorities just want to collect the rates. They're not interested in the alternative. The alternative, for instance, in this hotel we have in my town, is that if it opened, we could create 50 jobs straight away. That's huge, but there's no joined up thinking between government departments. And, you know, there should be a mechanism there where the Department of Jobs should be able to talk to the local authorities and say, maybe this hotel should get a rates holiday for a year or a year and a half until they get established. Because at the end of the day, they're taking 50 people off the dole. In relation to small post offices, there's much talk about closure of small post offices. There was 193 post offices closed down under Fianna Fáil's time. I think 11 or so have closed down under this government. And there weren't forced closures. There were situations where nobody was willing to take up the mantle and run the post offices. So I have a recommendation for you in relation to post offices, Minister, and you should bring this to Minister Burton. And that is, I see now that the Department of Social Protection are encouraging as many people as possible to give them details of their bank accounts for the household benefits package, and no option to use the post offices. We need to give more business to the post offices to keep rural Ireland alive. The positives for my town is that we have solid employers in it as well. We also have the BMW Assembly that Minister Hogan announced 100 million for over the next couple of years today. We also have the Western Development Commission, and we're probably one of the nearest towns to Knock Airport, which is a selling point. And we are developing a tourism package, and it's branded Lakes and Legends. So I've sought a meeting with you, Minister, next week, so that I can bring to your attention that the Western Development Commission are prepared to come on side with us in trying to revitalise towns. And if we could pilot Ballahadreen as that town, we already have the help there with the Western Development Commission based in town. And just a couple of other final points that maybe should be looked at down the road. Development levies are far too high in counties like Roscommon. The new building regulations that was brought in by Minister Hogan has meant that to build a one-off house now could cost 25% more than it did in the past. And it is not progressive, and they should be looked at, and I think you should talk to Minister Kelly about that. In relation to social inclusion and mental health, we should give dedicated funding to the Min's Shed projects and the rural Min's projects. And I brought Minister Joan Burton to view one of these rural Min projects in Chop McConnell there recently, and she was very, very impressed with the amount of work that they do. And finally, I think we need to review our wind energy policy and move away from wind farms who are not productive, because it will be a case that we will end up with ghost wind farms in this country in the same way as we ended up with ghost housing estates. Thank you, Minister.
Thank you.